The next Overwatch hero is most likely going to be a DPS, and I think it might be time for a true DPS melee hero. Let's have a look. For now, we have not seen a single teaser for who is going to be the Season 16 hero that will be joining the Overwatch roster mid-April. And this is the first time in over a year that we're left to our own means to figure out who it is going to be, since they hinted at Venture, Juno, and Hazard at BlizzCon in 2023. This year, however, there was no BlizzCon, so there are no hints. Sadly, we know nothing. Now, I'm pretty sure that they'll start teasing the new hero in Season 15. That is still a long time away. And it is not going to stop me from making this video, because I have a bit of an idea. An old idea I want to revisit due to some new circumstances. And because a lot of you have only started following me in the last 6 months, so welcome. Look, it's almost certain that this new hero is going to be a DPS. The last hero we got was Hazard, a tank. And before that, we got a support, Juno. So, DPS is going to be the next one on the list, most likely. I mean, it is still Blizzard. They have done weirder stuff. But the big question is, of course, what type of DPS are we getting? I have been very vocal about wanting a pet hero in Overwatch. But Blizzard does not seem to want to give me a pet hero. And if they end up keeping 6 versus 6 in the game, the chances of that happening will get substantially slimmer. There would just be too much going on in a match. It would be hard to figure out who you need to shoot at and who is actually shooting at you or biting your ankles. And to be fair, whether or not it is going to be a pet hero should not get in the way of my idea. If anything, it would make my idea only better. See, I think we might get our first full melee DPS hero. A DPS version of Reinhardt. Now, I know some people consider Genji to be a melee hero, but he uses his shurikens. That is his main weapon. That's not melee. The only time he uses his blade is when he's ulting and when he kind of dashes forward, uses that other knife. Kind of caught you, cheeky little bugger. Now, I really want a hero that smashes or slashes the hell out of people, like it is a full-time job. Why do I want a hero like that? So I can complain, because I'm a support player, but mainly because I think we need something very different in Overwatch when it comes to these heroes. And don't get me wrong, I think we have a good set of variety within the hero pool for Overwatch. But on the DPS side, this seems to be one that they keep skipping. We have melee supports, we have melee tanks, but no melee DPS. Now, there might be a reason for that. Marvel Rivals, for instance, has a ton of melee heroes. There's Spider-Man, Iron Fist, there's Magic, but that game is in the third-person perspective. Overwatch is in the first person. I mean, I prefer first person when I'm shooting stuff, but with a melee weapon, it might be a little more difficult unless your weapon is pretty slow, like in the case of Brigitte and Reinhardt. Still, it is possible, and I still think it might happen. And I even have a specific set of heroes in mind. I actually already made a video on these heroes 2 years ago, when I first discovered Colosseo, the push map. Back then, we discovered these 3 statues in one of the rooms. They are statues of gladiators that used to perform in the Colosseo, or still do. It is unclear. Now, the first one is Titus, and he uses some sort of javelin. Now, we've seen a javelin before in Overwatch. And while we do not have a DPS with a javelin, I think kit-wise, the options of doing something that is different from what Orisa does with a javelin are kind of limited. There's only so much you can do with a pointy stick, which has been proven repeatedly at family barbecues or during a New Year's fondue party. In Rivals, I play a lot of Namor, and he also has a javelin. But in essence, he does the same thing Orisa does, just throw it. It's just on a really short cooldown, and he has turrets, there's a whole deal, but his javelin, there's only one thing he can do, get rid of it. So I don't think this is going to be the guy. Now, the middle statue, that is more interesting. Magnus, he's actually my favorite out of all these 3 statues. He uses a broadsword. There's a lot you can do with a broadsword, he said, like he ever held a broadsword in his life. Things we have not seen in Overwatch yet, like Magic and Rivals, for instance, minus the whole demon portal thing. Yeah, that wouldn't work for a gladiator. But let's be honest, to have a modern day gladiator fight alongside you, holding that sword? Come on. He could do a ton of AoE damage. Could like sling people up. His ultimate could be a whirlwind, like the warriors do in World of Warcraft. Oh, I like this guy, and I like the idea. The thing is, if they ever make a melee hero based on one of these statues, it's going to be the 3rd statue, Camila. Camila might look slightly familiar, and that is because she resembles an extremely annoying Talon unit that we used to face during the Archives missions. That one unit that screams like a banshee, that crawls up the walls like she's a spider and then leaps towards you, stabbing you in the face till it looks like an old, overused pincushion. Only Overwatch 1 players will understand. The things we went through, guys. But that is basically the same lady. You can tell because she has the same stats and she has those same blades attached to her wrists. She spells trouble, most likely in Italian. That being said, having an Italian hero in game would kind of be cool. Or Greek. Some gladiators were Greek, I think. Do I look like a historian to you? Oh yeah, I kind of do. Yeah. Anyways, I'm still hoping that it is going to be Magnus, because he's my favorite. But are they ever going to do this? Well, around the time that I was making that previous video 2 years ago, Alec Dawson had just started the job, and during an interview with Game Braves, he literally said that these types of heroes have their own challenges, but that it is something they want to explore. There you go. And now we have Marvel Rivals showing off the fact that it is possible and a lot of fun. Come on. On top of that, guys, look at these statues. They might be world building, sure, but we haven't seen statues like this with this amount of detail without it becoming a thing at some point. All the other statues look a little more, I don't know, low poly. It can't be a coincidence. This might be it, guys. The next DPS hero might be the first melee DPS hero for Overwatch 2. A gladiator hero. You heard it here first. Well, you're here first the second time. And it is going to come with pets. Just saying. While I'm doing suggestions, I mean, it could work. Gladiator with a lion or a tiger. Pet chihuahua. I don't care. No? Alright, fine. But tell me, what do you think about adding melee heroes to Overwatch 2? Let me know in the comments. For now, however, that was it. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons. I could not make these videos without you guys. You have my eternal gratitude. You too can become part of the Omnic Post family over on patreon.com/theomnicpost. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.